We've wrapped up the second installment of our latest series, Reckless Love, which is all about God's heart for us, despite all the ways that we can let him down. If you've missed any of the series, you can catch up on Meck's YouTube or the Meck App. In this weekend's message, Pastor Jim walked us through Act 2 of the book of the prophet Hosea, found in the Old Testament of the Bible. Hosea is called to marry a prostitute named Gomer. Their marriage is to serve as a symbol to the people of Israel of how much their sin and betrayal hurts the relationship between them and God. In Act 2, we learned about the 3 children of Hosea and Gomer and the significance of each of their names. The names of the children were prophecies of the doom that Israel would face if they did not reject the false gods they are worshiping and return to the one true God. Their names were Jezreel, which was thought to mean violently destroyed, Lo Ruhamah, which means not loved, and Lo Amai, which means not my people. If I'm being honest, it's hard for me to not bristle when I read those names. I mean, isn't God being just a bit too harsh here? But when I take the time to sit with this story and the history of Israel's constant rebellion, rejection, and idolatry, I realize that these punishments aren't malicious and cruel bashings of innocent people by an angry God throwing a temper tantrum. This is when a patient, steadfast God has enough. That is a just God who has had enough of injustice, a faithful God who's had enough of infidelity, a good God who's had enough of evil. When I think about it that way, the pit in my stomach grows deeper. After all, I'm not much different from the people of Israel. I may not be building a gold statue to worship false gods, but I have chosen my own desires and will above the desires and will of God. So, at the end of the day, these are the consequences of my own actions. And if you think about it, which I challenge you to do, you'll realize that they're your consequences too. I don't know you or what's going on in your life, and I'm not here to cast judgment on anyone. I just don't want us to lose sight of the fact that we aren't blameless. The reality is that we can't expect to operate in the world without ramifications for the decisions we make. In the same way we handle our spiritual life is not without repercussions either. But here's the good news of all of this. Consequences are proof that goodness exists. At any given moment, we have the opportunity to choose what is good. We can choose God. When you run away, you can always return. And when you turn back to goodness, there is no place for guilt or shame. Just love, just acceptance, just grace.